I'll be honest with you. When I did leave, I was very reluctant to. I actually, I was 15 at the time. Everton come in, obviously, and wanted to pay a fee, but I actually turned down two different contracts. And then when Everton brought into the pro contract, then and that was involved in the deal, I think it was like a 6 years combined, really, between the schoolboy, the YTS, and the pro contract. We went to John and literally asked John, "What are you doing?" John said, "Listen, you couldn't turn it down." For me personally, listen, I've got a lot of respect for everyone at Everton. Of course, they have a couple of goalkeeper coaches there that really helped me, but me and John was a good match. It made it a little bit easier because John left a short while after I did. I think he only done maybe one more season, if he completed that, that is, but then moved on to Liverpool. Now, what may have happened there, that I could have been, being a red instead of a blue. You never know, and he might have took me that way. But like I say, what I will say is that I can't thank the pair of them. I don't want to forget Al in this at all, by the way. I just can't thank the pair of them enough. Yeah.
The one thing, I know you've already explained a little bit about the move, but I wanted to know how much say you actually got in it, because if memory serves me right, Everton came along, they made a bid. Would it have been, would it 6 figures, 5 figures? I can't remember what it was. And I don't know if you got say in whether you got a move or not.
Not entirely sure myself. I'm not entirely sure myself, because you just, you're a 14, 15-year-old boy. And on my school walk, I used to pass a garage, and if your mum give you a couple of quid to go into the garage back then, it was like, oh yes, I can get myself something here. So when the pro contract came along, and this is the one where John was, said you can't turn that down. Listen, it wasn't massive money at all, by the way. It was the minimum that a pro contract could be, a few £100 a week. But I didn't even think I seen that contract as a 14, 15-year-old. I'll be honest, I didn't see that. I just wanted to play football. So yeah, like I said, it was a great experience, obviously being involved in that, but it was obviously a difficult period as well, knowing that the Tranmere days were going to come to an end. And I think obviously it went to a tribunal, etc. So it was, well, I think it did anyway, because it took 9 months actually to sort out, and I wasn't allowed to train at either club. So it was just me and my old man then just doing extras, and that was my training, and I wasn't allowed to play for anyone. So it was really, really difficult time, that actually. And then eventually it all went through. Yeah, it all went through.
That must have been awful for your career, because at that time, and I've talked to players who at a similar age had an injury that really set them back for 9 or 10 months, and it wouldn't have had the same effect as an injury on you, but to not be able to go in and familiarise yourself with the new or old new environment, you get to know your new coaches, new teammates and whatnot, and not be able to do that for so long must have really set you back a bit.
Yeah, and I think I've just recalled now. Can you remember John used to have actually soccer schools, didn't he, in the evenings in different? And I think I had to attend a couple of those just to, keep myself ticking over. And when you go from John's training 3 nights a week to absolutely nothing, that's a big gap. That's a huge gap, right? So, one, I was missing out on John's training that brought me to where I was anyway, and what got me the move in the first place. And then 2, then I wasn't even allowed to go in and train at Everton then at that time either. So it was difficult, like I say. Again, looking back at it now, you can't remember too much of it because you're only young. But yeah, I wouldn't mind being able to envisage that sort of 9 months again, to see how I dealt with that, if that makes sense.
Do you think if the opportunity came up to you now, do you think you'd make the same decision to go to Everton, or do you think you'd have stayed at Tranmere?
I'd have stayed. Yeah, I'd have stayed. Wholeheartedly, I'd have stayed. Yeah, it was, listen, a real tough decision. I think when we told John that I was leaving, we couldn't actually, name the club until it all settled, really. And John actually goes, "Oh, it's okay. I know who it is anyway. It's Manchester United," and it wasn't. So obviously they must have shown some sort of interest, and but I wouldn't have left for Real Madrid. No, and I promise you that. Yeah, no chance on this planet. And that's thank you to my parents for getting me to training every day, but thank you to everyone at Tranmere, that is, for creating that environment in the first place, because yeah, I knew that was the place where I'd developed the most. To turn down a schoolboy contract and a YTS at first, like a 4-year deal it was, that I turned down first, said something, if that makes sense. I knew that wasn't the right, but in the end, I had to go because of the contract situation, really. And yeah, I didn't realise John was going to move on so soon, but you never know. You could have ended up following his footsteps and moving with him. Yeah.